Even during the time of Andrei Bogolyubsky, Kyiv ceased to be the capital of the Rus lands. Although the princes of Kyiv retained the title of Grand Prince for some time. However, starting from the end of the 19th century, events in Galicia became the center of Ukrainian politics more than those in Kyiv. The last of the Galician dynasty, Volodymyr Yaroslavich, died without leaving any heirs. Roman Mstyslavych, the Prince of Volhynia, who had already once sat on the Galician throne, regained Galicia. At the same time, he held Volhynia in his hands as well. Thus, the Galician Volhynian state was formed. In his unified principality, Roman worked to strengthen the authority of princely power. Because of this, he came into conflict with the Galician boyars and did not shy away from any means in his struggle against them. His usual saying was, "You can't safely eat honey without destroying the hive," as the chronicler recounts. Roman became the most powerful, and with his abilities and energy, the most prominent of the Ukrainian princes. This was very displeasing to Rurik of Kyiv, especially since Roman had established friendly relations with Vsevolod of Suzdal. Rurik told the Olgoviches, who wanted to seize Galicia with his help, to join forces and march against Roman. While the united troops in Kyiv were preparing for the campaign, Roman Mstyslavych was already on the banks of the Dnipro. The people of Kyiv opened the gates for him themselves, and Rurik and the Olgoviches, who had hidden in the upper city, were forced to surrender. The people of Kyiv hoped in vain that Roman would stay. In the eyes of more capable princes with broader political ambitions, the Kyiv region was not a suitable arena. It was too weakened, shattered, hopelessly entangled in politics, and they didn't want to take it, only to keep an eye on it. Just to make sure it wouldn't grow strong in someone else's hands and become dangerous to them. Roman Mstyslavych placed Ingvar Yaroslavich, a prince dependent on him, in Kyiv. Roman paid special attention to the Polovtsian issue. More than once he marched against the steppe nomads, destroyed their camps, and freed captives. The chronicle has preserved a song about the Galician prince. He rushed at the pagans like a lion, was as fierce as a lynx, and destroyed them like a crocodile. He crossed their land like an eagle, for he was as brave as a bison. With these campaigns, Roman saved Byzantium, because the nomads had already reached Constantinople. Rurik and the Olgoviches took advantage of his absence and in 1203, having hired hordes of Polovtsians, attacked Kyiv. The barbarians plundered the tithe in St. Sophia cathedrals, monasteries, and the homes of Kyivans, killing people and taking them away in chains. It is striking that this massacre and destruction were organized by the very same princes who had so fiercely fought against the Polovtsians just a few years earlier.